everyone else farted on this stuff, and so we're going to send it to Hudson.
Whose image was number 2.
Welcome.
All you Sheehannites. It's like jumping the shark.
And its spawn chains are glowing in the dark.
No, that doesn't work. It's like, I wanted X-Men #1, but we're going to send you
compensation gun.
That's equally good, right? And it's like,
there was a crossover once.
Anyway, I mean, that's, what do they call that? First world problems.
Yes.
Welcome to Sheehan is Dead Comics. Brian, take it. Kick us off, Brian.
So this is a classic. This is Batman Spawn. And I wish my light was closer so that I could shut it off and you could see it glow in the dark. Spawn's hand.
That's going to glow in the dark?
Yeah, this glows in the dark.
Oh, man.
Like I was telling you last week, I was reading the book. I have an open copy because I bought 2 on accident. And
I hate those accidents.
Seriously, I was like, oh, come on. And this one came in the mail like 2 days later after I got the other one. It wasn't even at the same time. And so I'm laying in bed and I shut my light out, and all of a sudden I see something out of the corner of my eye, a light, and I'm like, what is that? And I look, and it's Spawn's hands are glowing in the dark. Gimme, gimme, gimmick.
Oh wow! So is that McFarlane?
Actually, on the front it's Capullo. Capullo made this cover, Greg Capullo, and the book kind of sucks too.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, Ty draws the second volume in here. It's like so 90s and over the top. I don't hate it yet, but I'm just kind of like, my 12-year-old self knew something my 40-year-old self apparently forgot. That's why I didn't put it. And then I got this Grayson. So this was sold out for the longest time, this Omni, and this is the reprint that just got released. So the premise of it is in the New 52 in Justice League, Dick Grayson was killed by I believe the crime syndicate from like Earth 2 or Earth something or other. And so in this, he's a secret agent. And it actually is it got a lot of acclaim and whatnot. And Michael Giannini, who's one of my favorite artists, he's drawn on Batman. It's also written with Tom King. This is where Tom King made his comics debut with another writer, Tim Seeley. So he incorporated some like his CIA past into this, Grayson being a spy. Just call him Agent 37. As Robin, he was the Dark Knight's partner and protege. As Nightwing, he forged a heroic legacy of his own. And when vicious killers invaded our dimension, he sacrificed his secret identity and his life to save the world. Ooh. At least that's what the world believes. To the heroes, villains, and ordinary citizens of Earth, Dick Grayson is dead. But death is the perfect cover story for an agent of Spiral. Yeah. As the newest member of this top secret spy ring, Grayson helps scour the globe for the pieces of the Paragon, a slain god whose every organ is a weapon of mass destruction. But he's also Batman's man inside the Spiral, uncovering their secrets even as they strive to uncover the secret identity of every superhero on the globe.
Oh my.
Right.
So Dick Grayson was the original Robin?
Robin, yep. Mm-hmm.
So he's dead. Carrie Kelly comes in. And then how does Grayson come back into the picture?
So what happens is Dick Grayson was the first Robin. Then they made Jason Todd. Then they rebooted it. They did the big Crisis on Infinite Earths reboot, and they changed Jason Todd's origin because they made his origin almost identical to Dick Grayson's, down to like the parents' death, and they were in the circus and whatnot. So then when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths and they rebooted the universe, Jason Todd was, he was like a street rat, an alley rat, and he was stealing the wheels, the hubcaps off the Batmobile. So then the Joker kills him. Okay. And then Tim Drake becomes Robin. But in the future, when Frank Miller did The Dark Knight Returns in '86, he made Robin a girl, Carrie Kelly.
Who's who today?
So right now, now Robin is Damian Wayne, who's Batman's child that he had with Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
I can only imagine what Grant Morrison did with it.
Oh, dude. So it's not like a natural pregnancy. Like she took some of his DNA and basically fertilized a number of her eggs. And so she had clones upon clones of Damian. And so one of the clones actually kills him at the end of Batman Incorporated. Spoilers. And so since then, like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, now Damian's, of course, back to life because nobody really dies in comics, right?
Death of Superman changed what death means.
Yes. And why did they do that? Because the Image was number 2. Yeah. This is absolute Dark Knight's metal. Yeah. Gimme.
Yeah, silver.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the back, it's got the little thing here. This is cool. This is so full disclosure. I loathed this when it came out because this was basically like Dan DiDio approached Scott Snyder about doing an event or vice versa.
Okay.
And then meanwhile, Jeff was working on Doomsday Clock. So again, with Doomsday Clock, it was supposed to take place over a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And what was happening in Doomsday Clock was our present. And so the rest of the DC universe was going to catch up to that at the end of Doomsday Clock. So part of the reason for the delays is Scott Snyder does this event, and it's this wild, crazy event, and it ties into, it basically like wraps up his storyline that he started in 2011 with Batman. It's like jumping the shark. I love Scott Snyder. He's actually a really, really super nice guy. I've met him probably like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
He starts out stories really good, and you're like, oh man, this is so cool.
He doesn't know how to do the ending.
And then he can't stick the landing. What happened? What? That thing was going up like this. Look at that thing soar, and then for no reason, just kind of like.
Robbie was talking about that. He's like, I don't know that I could take, if you gave me Batman or Superman or X-Men at their pinnacle and said, here, run this. He basically said, I don't think I could do that, but give me something that's broken down and I can fix it. I can like bring it higher than it is. He's a fixer. To like open strong is a talent, and not everyone can do that. And closing is a different talent. I read a handful of Stephen King books way back when, and he was great. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I know he's super popular and has been for like 40 years, but in my experience, the stuff I read, he's really good at opening, and and then he goes 800 pages, and then his ending is like 3 pages long, and it means nothing.
Right. That's how I felt. That's how I feel Scott Snyder, how he does events. Like you read Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm.
I think you even mentioned like you were highly intrigued, and then the whole thing with Batman's like stepbrother was kind of like, all right, well, what's happening here?
Yeah, I was super into that, and then it was just like over.
Right. And it was like, okay, all right. I remember my dad, he said one of the telltale signs of a good movie is a good ending.
The book is beautiful, though. I love the diamond plate. I just think it's
cool. But again, that's what this is. Like a lot of what DC is nowadays is this. It's like, oh, look at how awesome this is. Yeah, we're gonna rock and roll. And then okay.
But you bought it.
But I bought it.
You bought it.
The gimmick got me. The art is cool. And the premise is over the top, and seeing it on big paper and, like Absolute Edition, it's kind of like it takes you somewhere.
So you have a little bit of completist blood in you.
One of the things also about this is that in the deluxe edition, there's these 2 really good setup stories in it. One is called The Dark Days, and then the other is The Forge, or Dark Days, The Forge. It's like its own crazy lunatic kind of thing.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, the 2 stories that they chose to not have this, because they just wanted just the dark metal event itself, they really lead into this. So if you're going to read this, make sure you read those 2 prequels, the Dark Days, The Forge, and the other one that escapes me. So those books that I just showed everybody.
Yeah.
You can get those at Organic Price Books, and you can use the coupon code Sheehan is Dead. Sheehan is Dead, all one word, Sheehan is Dead. Organic
$2.
price books, save yourself $2.
$2. You could save it and save $2 again next week, and then have $4.
You make an account at Organic Price Books. Every time you buy a book, you
You get
stack
points.
You get points, and then once you
Points.
reach, there's different thresholds. You can save $2, $5, $10, $20.
You got more to show us. Let's see what you got. Ooh.
So these are the reprint, well, not
Oh,
reprints. These are the new
yeah.
30-year anniversary things for Superman, the Death of Superman.
Dude.
This here, when you open it, it's like Doom. I think it's Doomsday holding his cape. Let's see.
Is that the die cut?
This one isn't. It's like the Superman ones, the old school ones you got.
Right.
You opened it.
Yeah.
Okay. And apparently it was packaged by Miss Angela Christine herself.
Where did you get those, dude?
I pre-ordered these. I had told Scott, but for the audience, I pre-ordered these off of forgive me, whoever I bought them from on eBay.
Oh yeah. Super sweet.
All
Yeah,
right.
look at that. Whoa.
And it's all new stories that harken back to it. Like one of them I know I'll show here. It's the story being told to Jonathan Kent when he was a boy.
Okay.
Of like he discovers that his dad died, and he's Lois and Clark apparently never told him. But this is right from the comic itself. Dan Jurgens drew this in the Death of Superman. This was like on one of the final pages before he died.
Give us a little bit of a closer.
And then so this is like John
Yeah.
seeing it for the first time.
Oh wow. That so looks like the 90s one stuff.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
And there's that like charm to it. And then this is John sitting on, I guess this is his dad's statue, because there was this big gold statue of Superman.
Okay.
When he died that they made.
Yeah.
And then you see it says the Death of Superman 30th anniversary special. These are all the specials, but they're all, I believe each one is a different story though. And then this one harkens back to Funeral for a Friend. See this? She's holding his cape, and it's like the thing. I mean, even
that's great. That's right? Great. That's
like
great.
Batman's old. Look at how old school Nightwing was. That's what he wore back in the 90s. You know?
Yeah. Oh man.
I can't wait to dig into these. I gotta do that. So this is Jurgens and Breeding, who did the Death of Superman.
Okay.
So this is them like rehashing their own work. Like he drew it again. It's a little sharper. This is a new CGC one I ordered. This was one I pre-ordered, and it's the Batman 125, where for the new run with Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez.
Very cool.
I think, this is strictly an investment. I think maybe in another year I could sell it for like 2-3 times what I bought it for. Batman Year One, Part One, first print, signed by Frank Miller.
Oh yeah. That is so cool. So cool.
Dude, this is a whale.
Did you have to wait for a long time on that one, or you just went in on it, or like how did that come about?
I've been scouting this for a while, and like Dark Knight Returns #1 for a while, and then I just finally was able to pull the trigger.
Nice.
It makes me happy.
Tune in next time. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Same Sheehan channel, same Sheehan time. Yeah.
There you go. And by the way, if you're digging this, like the channel, like the video, subscribe, and
like and subscribe, please. If you
comment, tell us what you want us to talk about, what you're into, and we're gonna respond. And we're all about conversation on these things. It's just ugly. Just don't do it. Just spend like a penny more and just get the resealable bags. There's an insert of some kind, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, folds out.
It folds out.
I love it.
It folds out.
That's awesome.
Now this was the killing blow right here. This was like they both hit each other at the same time and they both died. This is the killing blow right here.
If Terry Austin inked a burger, that was the one.
Yeah, and Terry like stayed up all night inking it too. It was
he was all in on it. He was all in on that.
He was all in. It was so good.
That was so funny to hear Robbie. I mean, I think he's referenced Austin before, but he was just like, he is the greatest inker ever, not just of his generation, but he's like of all comics. And
Wait a minute, you forgot a part. Full stop. Full stop.
did he say full stop?
Yeah, yeah. Full stop. Full stop.
Can I show a couple of things?
Please.
Do you remember
Dude,
this
that
one?
is such a classic cover.
So that's 1993, number 6.
That's such a awesome, yeah, the triangle.
Beautiful cover.
Look
This
at
is,
her face.
yeah,
Her face looks like a real woman's reaction.
yeah,
And then you throw in like the Superman on
yeah.
each lens. That is just ingenious. Who did that cover? Does it say?
The credits on the side of the magazine are Gamble and Breeding
Oh, okay.
on
Okay.
on that one. Does that make
Yeah.
sense right
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Because I think breeding is the inker.
And so this one, it's in a poly bag, and it has some kind of a magazine attached on the back.
That looks like Superman versus one of the gargoyles from the cartoon.
It's got this other like skateboard magazine or something. It was again a gimmick thing.
I remember I've never told you this, but I had a Wildcats and Youngblood. I had Robbie's Youngblood and
Oh, cool.
like #1, and it was in the sealed plastic, and I never read it. And I thought it was going to be worth a lot of money when I was 40.
Neil Adams. Have you ever heard of this? Action Lab. It's a comic. It's a comic book, but it's a coloring book. So it's all black and white, and it's drawn like this, so that you can color it. Super random and just
That is.
super fun. And then of
Oh,
course,
oh,
gorgeous Storm.
gimme, gimmick. Is that a shiny one?
No, it's not. It's not
Oh.
shiny. We got shiny coming up, but this is
Oh.
just a beautiful deluxe.
Dude, that's beautiful. That's a
It's
great
heavy.
color.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Oh, I had that one. I had
This
that
one?
one. Yes. Wow.
Talk about gimmick. I mean, look,
Oh.
dude, boom.
You're like, you ain't X-Men unless you're glossy, shiny rainbow X-Men. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping.
Slow down.
Dude,
slow
I had
down.
that one too.
Rogue One. And we you can't see it, but Brian and I earlier were talking about Terry Austin. And so
What?
Austin inked this, and it's just a great cover.
Oh,
She was the Mystique and all those guys, the Brotherhood, evil
mutants. Yeah.
evil mutants, yeah. And she got kicked out. Something happened.
Dude, that's so cool.
What I need to do is I need to get some book presses, because a lot of these books are in decent shape, but they need to be pressed. If you have this, you don't need anything else.
That's right.
Again, the fold out. This is the fold out cover, like the one that you were showing on your Superman, and so that was just a bonus. That was tucked inside. I didn't see that in the you can only see what's on the inside and the outside, and then it was like, oh, cool. So
the X-Force, I had that X-Force too.
It's
right. Oh, boys.
Number 4.
Lim, Lee, Larson, and Liefeld.
Domino.
My money's on Lim. Yeah.
It's the thing that I guess caught my eye was Spider-Man was in there.
I'm going to Google this right now and see if Google can tell me how many X-Force #4s sold, because of, like, you got Cable with this gigantic compensation gun. You got Spider-Man.
Not only do you have Liefeld on the cover,
apparently that's also the first issue where X-Force meets Spider-Man.
we've got it. He's got his credits on the cover, Robbie. And then we get your normal credit line, Robbie. But then down here, X-Force, created by Rob Liefeld. I've never seen that for any other artist. Credit. And then even like a tag.
You guys, what if I did the color too? So I'm getting royalties for all 4.
Since the last time you and I have gotten together, I filled another short box. So,
dude, that is like, I told you, that's like 90s comic, like.
Yes, I probably have more issues of Cable #1 than anything.
You're about that life.
This came in a collection or a lot of 50 Cables. All Cables are Cable and Deadpool, and
they're probably like, who's the lunatic that wanted all these? I'm glad I put these in a lot.
Signed here, and then there's the hologram card that was part of it. And I didn't even realize it was going to be quite like this. I didn't know it was going to be signed, and of course it's embossed. But the cool thing is it's a first day issue.
Wow, Golden Apple. That place is like. Remember, Robbie talked about how his Golden Apple signings.
Yeah.
Golden
So
Apple's
official
still
first
out
day
there.
of issue certificate, again signed by the same artist or writer who's on the cover here, and then numbered, and then stamped. I'm going to put it in a different bag. March 25th. Limited edition 1000, produced in conjunction with Art Fiber and Marvel Comics to commemorate the first day of release. So certificate of issue signed, magazine signed, some kind of a weird cable hologram. That was the win there. So I got 50 cables, including this, and the card is in like a sleeve.
I love those when they had them on the X-Men covers, the Fatal Attractions. It was I'm not even kidding you, it was mesmerizing.
It's probably 50-50. 50 half the time I get it, and half the time I don't. And I always am disappointed when I don't, but then when I look at the price that I went for, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have wanted to pay for that much. Yeah, right. Liefeld's greatest hits, and he's doing the covers of the mags.
Yeah. You guys, I went and worked on G.I. Joe because I always wanted to work on G.I. Joe. And guess what? It sold
Right.
out with the 3 printings. You know what? I was just looking at you, and with your hair and Robbie's hair, we should go to a con and you should cosplay as Rob Liefeld.
How would I dress? I don't really know what he looks like.
We could get something, but you got to nail the hair and have like that. I'm almost 60, but I'm wearing my hair like a 90s skateboard kid.
I've never been to a beach.
We'll do your hair like that, and we'll put your contacts in, and then be like, we'll have you sit at a table and we'll have a big thing like they do at the Comic-Con, but it'll say not Rob Liefeld. It'll be you sitting at the table, and I'll be your handler and be like, no, you don't pay Rob, you pay me, and then you approach Rob.
I'll sign your comics for you. I'm more than willing to sign your comics.
Yeah, there's feet on the cover.
Spider-Man has a foot, kind of,
sort of,
yeah, but no domino feet, no cable feet, and no
just cable and the centerpiece of his major compensation gun. So you guys,
it would be like if Michael J. Fox was doing right?
Are you from the future? No, I'm Rob Liefeld.
Oh my goodness. So ridiculous.
Rich. That was such a good time. That was one of my favorite episodes so far. Yeah.
So we had Sean O'Connell and we got into depth. He did.
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah, on his book about the Snyder stuff. So if you haven't seen that, we'll put a link in the description on this one. Check it out.
It's got the best thumbnail. Release the Sheehan cut. So perfect. It was like, whoa, Sean O'Connell's on here.
I know, crazy. It's either going to be great or it's going to be horrible. I'm not Sheehan.
I'm not Sheehan, but I knew a Sheehan.
Only one?
Just one. You got to take you somewhere to get your Sheehan activated. But I'm not Sheehan. Scott's not Sheehan.
Darth Pillow could be Sheehan.
I think Darth Pillow is Sheehan.